What's up, YouTube? This is Artanis for Shinkatsu Zero's channel, and I am bringing you my January 1st, 2024 Cashier deck profile. I picked this deck up when it came out back on 2022. I fell in love with it. Unfortunately, they banned probably my favorite extra deck monster, Rise Heart. I understand why they banned it. I'm not saying it wasn't busted, but from a card design and artwork design, I thought it was one of the coolest cards I've seen come out in numerous years. But that being said, we'll go and get into the deck profile. I chose to do a certain tech option, and you'll see that throughout the video. And I'll explain a little bit why I chose to get into it. But anyway, we'll go ahead and start off here with the engine. We are obviously playing three Kashtira Unicorns. I had a feeling that they were going to bump this card from 2 to 3 up on the list because after Rice Heart, the deck really didn't do a whole lot um, after Rise Heart was banned. So obviously that being the problem card, they're like, well, since we don't need to have Unicorn at 2 anymore, they said let's give it another consistency card. So this will considerably help the deck, especially for consistency purposes. But it also it gives it the one card starter back, and this card will, I think Kestrel will see a slight increase in play because of this going back. And obviously next we have probably one of the strongest cards in the game. Obviously we play the triple Uno Kashtira Fenrir. Obviously this card's good going first or second, help breaking boards as an additional interruption. I know a lot of people think it should go to 1, but I actually disagree. And the reason being is, yes, it is a free body and it is strong. I'm not discrediting that, but honestly, Kashtira Fenrir feels relatively balanced to some other cards in the format. And honestly, this card to me is already beginning to feel like it's being power crept by other cards because the fire is going to come out, all new fire support and everything. But within a year or two, Fenrir will be power crept. Not saying when it's going to be, when that is, but Unicorn just feels fair to me, and that's a, like I said, hot take, but that's my opinion. Next up, we have 2 Rise Heart. I do think 3 could still be played. There's an argument for it, but now with Unicorn back, you don't need necessarily 3 Rise Heart, so 2 is that perfect balance. Because he's obviously a good extender. He's searchable. That's why you don't need 3. But if you want to play 3, you could, because he's pretty easy accessed, and having the extra extension doesn't always hurt. And then obviously now for the 1-0s, we are playing the 1 Scareclaw Kashtira and the 1 Ogre. Obviously, you need to run the Kashtira because it's good to out certain monsters, especially tower monsters, because when a Kashtira monster battles, it negates the effects. It's also a free extender. And Ogre actually does come up in the grind game. He's also a 2800 beater that you can summon for free. And being able to look at the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck, so you know what's coming, you can easily take care of a card that you don't want them to have. So he himself generates a lot of resources. And up next, obviously, we play the 3 field spell and the 1 terraforming, or the 4th field spell. Then we also got the most busted card in the deck, Kashtira Birth. Obviously, this gives you unlimited grind game and extension, and also being able to banish 3 if your opponent's graveyard face down is extremely powerful. So in the grind game, it gives you resources and out resources your opponent. Honestly, if any card should probably be on the ban list, it should be this. Kind of what they did in Master Duel. Then we have the E-Telly for the deck. 3 Kashtira Theosis. Not much to say about it other than, it gets you your extensions, allows you to play through some interruptions, give or take what's all going on. And then for the final engine piece, we're playing the 1 Preparations. I chose to play this because it can come up in scenarios where you can summon a monster from your hand or banished. And also being able to look at your opponent's hand can come up, although probably not as often as what most people do. I mean, against Labyrinth, it will probably come up, which could really start hurting in the ground game. I chose not to play Big Bang because I just feel like it's not needed anymore, because you're not really relying on the extra deck in this with Cashier as much anymore. Not saying obviously it's not toolbox related, but I just feel like you're relying more on the main deck monsters. But obviously, you have the extra deck as a toolbox. Now, for non-engine, we're going to go and start with the hand traps. We're going to start with everybody's favorite card, or hated card. Triple Dimensional Shifter, obviously, it doesn't hurt Cashier in the long run. In fact, it can win games on its own. I understand why it should be banned, but I don't think Konami's going to touch it. Obviously, we got 3 Ash Blossoms, also 3 Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. Obviously, with D-Shifter, you want to have the ability to negate and, I believe, Monster Effect. Since we're going to be in a hand trap format, you want as much Monster Effect negation as possible. So I'm choosing to run Ghost Mourner, and it doesn't conflict with D-Shifter. And then we're obviously ending up with 3 Infinite Impermanence. Self-explanatory, Better Veiler. There's no contradict, and it can also be act as a Pseudo-Stolen Judgment. And then for the rest of the non-engine, we have Triple Prosperity. Obviously, everyone knows what this card does. Banish 6, or 3 or 6. Dig 3 or 6 card deep in your deck. Card should probably go to 1, but Konami chose not to hit it, so we're going to play 3. And then for the, quote-unquote, my personal tech choice, and I've seen some other people, but we are playing 3 Super Polymerizations. Now, I chose to play this because Super Poly seems to be like it's in a good spot, this format. And in testing, this card has helped me break boards and push for game. So I feel like it's not a bad option to play at all this format. And the fact that it's just so generically good right now, even though this isn't a fusion deck, you have the extra deck space that where you can play it. So there's really no contradiction with it. But obviously, if you don't want to play Super Poly, you could put in enemy controllers or forbidden droplets or other monsters or whatever you think you need, depending how you want to build the deck. I just chose Super Poly because I just feel like it's really good right now, and it's helped me break boards. And then for the last card, we play the one Called by the Grave. Since we're in a hand trap format, Called by the one random card could help you win the game or just push through that disruption. Alright, and then for extra deck, we are playing 2 Shinra Eras. Honestly, you could probably cut this down to 1, but I like having 2 because you can still banish 1 off Prosperity and still have the other one. So that's why I play 2, despite you don't really need Shinra Era. We obviously have the 1 Big Eye, I Steal Your Bish. Got the 1 NECA Phantom Beast Dracosac, helps out skill drain, and is just a good card overall right now. The 1 Dark Armed Dragon of Annihilation. We got to play the 1 Red Ice Flare Metal for time, and also just can help kill your opponent, because if you can't OTK them, you're able to make this guy. It can literally push. It can literally put if they play 1 card, they just lose the game. Then obviously we have the 2 brothers, Typhon and Zeus. These cards are going to be very good next format, especially for this deck. Typhon actually might be a card I may actually bump up to 2, because I think he's going to see a lot more play with everything going on. And then obviously we are playing the 1 Abyss Dweller, just because we're going to be in a graveyard heavy format. Abyss Dweller can be made through multiple ways, whether you take opponent's monster, double Rise Heart, or card in the fusion deck. The card just seems situated to be very good right now, so that's why I play it. But if you don't want to play the Dweller, you could play, I believe it's number 76, Harmonizing Gradial, which can quick effect take a monster from your opponent's graveyard, which is good, especially in fire format, because they can't destroy it by card effects with the same attribute or by battle. So that's something of importance to know. Then we also have the 1 Bear on the Floor. It's pretty easy to make this. The deck's all level 7s and 6s. Gives you the Omni Negate, and it came up. Especially in a simplified game state, this card can win games on its own. We got the 1 SP Little Knight. I mean, SP Little Knight's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty good. And then for the final package that we are running, because we are running Super Poly, we are running 1 Garua, 1 Mud Dragon. These are going to probably be your 2 most important cards. We are playing the one Guilty Gearfried. I don't know if this card's going to come up much in the next format or not, but it's very well possible because of Barone and SP being a thing, at least for some decks. And then we're also playing the one Draco Quest. But anything's possible. And honestly, if you're playing, you're playing Prosperity, if you don't, you're going first, and you don't know what you're playing, you can always banish these two off of Prosperity and still have the two generic. So it does come up. And honestly, depending on how this format is, Mud Dragon might get bumped up to 2. And obviously, if you're not playing the Super Poly package, you can put whatever these 4 as whatever cards you want. More Ring 7s or whatnot. But yeah, I'm still working on the side deck because we don't exactly know what's going to be main for side. Meta's still wide open, so I mean, you can kind of build generically as you want. I do think if you're thinking you want to play obviously Droll and Ghost Bell are 2 fairly strong options. Obviously, you can side Pinkertops. But anyway, guys, that is my deck profile. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. I feel like Super Poly is not a bad way to go this format for certain decks if they can play it. I feel like it's fairly strong, and the testing that I've done has been very good to me. But, you know, like I said, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care.